Hi, Sienna. How are you doing? Day 3 of our Self-Reg diaries.
Good.
We've got the hair down. She set up the screen today. And did you notice that she's slowly taking over little bits more and more of the camera? So I'm kind of trying. No, I'm teasing you, sweeties, because you're getting more comfortable, and that's a good thing. So let us start with yesterday's challenge. Now we're not going to show you the pictures, but in the final version of this, we'll post those. So we're just going to go with Siena's what she chose to take pictures of. If you're doing this with your own children, it's about the it's actually not about what they choose. It's about the conversations you have. So have some fun with that. So why don't you tell me about the first item that you chose? I mean, that was a challenge to choose 3 things from our home that have a meaning for you, that have a story that other folks might not know. So which was your first choice?
My first choice was a plant, and the story behind it is ever since...
You can see it.
Yeah, right there.
You can see a bit of it. I mean, she's a beautiful plant.
Ever since my grandma died, before that it was, I wouldn't say not a happy plant, but it was definitely, we thought I wasn't going to make it. And then once she died, the day after it started growing even more and more. And it's, we almost had to take it outside. It's like really long.
See? It's basically taken over half of the fireplace. So, you know, it's a special one. My mom's name was Dorothy, and so it was Dot, and she also loved plants. So, and she loved her big hair. My mom, she was she was a 60s young woman, and she loved her. So I look at this big flowing plant, and it brings us a lot of joy. So I'm really glad you chose that one.
And then I also chose that.
Okay. And why did you choose the cat picture that I mentioned yesterday?
Because it shows a lot of my emotion a lot of the time. Like, a lot of the time I'm always
That's not a nice thing to do to your mother.
the blue cat. Nope. Anyway, and it's like, it's has its tongue out and it's smiling, and then I'm also a lot like the one that's sleeping, and the one in the corner of the bed acting like a gangster.
Really funny. That picture has a story too. My mom, so she passed away about 1.5 years ago now. So Siena's grandma, who lived here with us, picked that painting out for me for my 50th birthday. And she thought I needed to cheer things up in my house. So funny. She had such a great sense of humor, and we love the painting. But what Siena's talking about is I sit in front of the fire and look at it a lot. And I noticed one day that it reminded me of the Thayer matrix. For those of you that are self-reggers, you know a bit about the Thayer matrix, which I'll link in here somewhere. But it's 4 quadrants, and one is high energy, high tension. One is low energy, high tension. One is low tension, it's the 4 quadrants. You can tell I'm tired, right? But it's a combination of energy and tension and high and low. And so we've gotten into this habit in our house of talking about which kitty we feel like. And it's amazing how it's just a touchstone, that's the idea of metaphors and frameworks. It's way more complex than that, but it helps you notice where you're at, how you're feeling. Interoception is part of Self-Reg and what to do about it. So, okay, very cool. What's your third?
My third one is my dog. My doggo. She's 14. She's a German Shepherd, but we thought that she was 16 because the vet told us wrong. And then we got the results back, and she's actually 14 again. So, I chose Bindi because she's like a person, literally.
Yeah.
She'll bark when someone leaves. She'll cry when someone comes home. She will scratch at all the doors for treats. And then when she has to go to the bathroom, she'll get up, scratch at the door, walk around. She's just a lot like a human.
Our pets are incredible, and she is like full on. Eric jokes and calls her Siena's sister. Full on parts of our lives. And we have, I call it the zoo. We have 2 guineas and 2 cats, and we love them all. But there's something very special about Bindi, so that's lovely that you chose that. I'm looking forward to hearing what everyone else chose. So hey, how'd you sleep last night?
Oh, good.
Yeah.
We went to bed at like 8:30 because we were exhausted.
Really early. So I hope all of you are, and if you're struggling with trying to, really dial it down and get those good night's sleep, just keep focusing on it. Know that you're not being selfish by taking that time for yourself. It's the most generous thing you can do for the folks you love, okay? And kids, if mums and dads and aunties and all that stuff are saying you need to get a good night's sleep, they're doing it because they love you and it's healthy. As routines are shifted, flying up in the air, and we'll talk about this more down the road, the things that we can keep as constant as possible. Our dinner time is something we always do as a family. Like, it's whatever those routines are that you can keep on, they're really, really important. So the last thing I want to tell you is I want to tell you a story. We're doing a shorter version today. I have a story and a challenge. But yesterday I was in the pharmacy. I had to pick up a prescription. Like all of you, if you're, getting an extra prescription, it's a good time to do that. You don't have to get 10 years. Get one more. That's all we have to do. But there was a senior there. And I'm kind of a natural helper. I have to be careful not to try to help too much. I don't know if any of you have that Canadian side to you, which I wear as a badge of honor, but sometimes times like this can be really overwhelming when you sort of look at the world like that. And there was a senior, and she was clearly struggling. She had a mask on, which to me told me she was worried, trying to protect herself. She had what I would think was osteoporosis, was very hunched over. And she had a cart full of personal hygiene items and self-care items that told me she was stocking up. And I don't even know her story. She may have a big family around her. I don't really know. But I've got this feeling that she could sure use someone. And it stayed with me, and it bothered me last night. And I even noticed myself not offering to see if there was anything I could do. I mean, what am I going to do, right? We're supposed to be social distancing. It's not the time to approach strangers and these things. And so it's a very confusing time for our morals and our ethics and our do the right thing. Keep those in mind, though. They matter. This time matters. It really does. What I would like to challenge you to do, and I have this challenge for you, is I would like to think of someone in your life that you can reach out by letter, by phone, by video, conferencing of whatever kind you do, FaceTime or whatever. Someone that you can reach out to in the next 24 hours that you think might just appreciate an extra call. I'm going to reach out to my 89-year-old Aunt Joan, who I haven't talked to for about
She's
6
93.
weeks. She's 89. And have a conversation with your kids about you.
Oh,
No.
well, I wished her a happy 93 3rd birthday.
That's really funny. Someone else I'm going to reach out to is, they're like grandparents, and it's kind of like, they feel like family. Nancy and Papa John. When Papa John turned 75, I sent him birthday wishes for a happy 80th birthday, and he said, "This is just terrific. My first card. I'll save this and look at it again in 5 years," and he did. So, anyway, that's just an aside. Those are other folks that we're going to reach out to. But what I'm asking you to do is think of someone. So in the case of Nancy and Papa John, they are surrounded by love and people caring for them. Actually, so is my Aunt Joan, has that in her life as well. I want you to think of someone who maybe is like the senior I saw yesterday, who could sure use a phone call right now, could sure use someone just calling and saying, "Hey, how you doing?" Or a letter from a child. There's all sorts of different ways that we can do it, but that's the challenge for tomorrow, okay? So thank you. Thanks for tuning in. We've had a lot of really great feedback so far, and I'm glad you're enjoying getting to know Siena, and, you know, having fun with her various forms of fidgeting and keeping herself entertained while I talk. You know, and I just want to say thanks, Cece. I really appreciate that you're doing this with me. Bye, everyone.